hereby a response to Xfinksx or Tom Dark's response to the anti-hate campaign videos that we, the Destonians, have created, amongst others, in response to Tom's video, Desteni Fabrications Part 1. And the point that I noticed when I watched your video, Tom, was that you said that you prefer life with suffering, with pain and pleasure and hate and love and all this. And within saying so, within making that statement, all other critique, all other points of being critical towards Destiny is immediately devaluated, because you're tacitly implying that you prefer the world to remain the way that it is, with abuse and deception and suffering, because of the belief that only within that is pleasure and enjoyment possible, where what we are standing as in Destiny is the end of exactly that. So obviously, when one is coming from that starting point of wanting to remain and not wanting to change, it is quite common that one will attack anyone that speaks of change, anyone that does in fact change themselves, because it becomes a threat or a challenge, and in the end of that, it actually becomes a challenge within oneself. Am I gonna face myself in self-honesty, or am I not gonna face myself in self-honesty? And another point that you also mentioned in your video is that you are able to see that Destiny is an abusive cult because you have been exposed to such a person before in your life. And because you know, I have been wondering what the motivation was for making these hater videos, since you have not actually investigated Destiny thoroughly. You have only investigated that which fit to your assumptions, what you want to believe about Destiny. But now it makes perfect sense, because if you have been abused yourself, or even having allowed yourself to believe an abuser, to allow yourself to be abused, you're going and you haven't resolved that, and you haven't forgiven yourself, and you haven't let go of that, you are going to keep recreating it, and you're going to keep seeing it in all the people that you meet. Destiny is probably not the first group or the first people that you have, or the last, where you have seen this pattern, because it is existing in you. It is coming from you. It's coming from a point in your past, a memory, a painful, emotional, painful experience that you have not allowed yourself to let go of and stand up from. And now this crusade against Destiny has become your mind's warped version of standing up to this person, instead of, and this is why it's so ironic, instead of actually forgiving yourself and letting go and deciding that you're not gonna define yourself according to this memory or this experience, and that you do not allow it to influence you. Because one of the points that you are very concerned with or preoccupied by in relation to Destiny is this fear and worry, you know, standing as this point of being a savior, saving people from Destiny. And this is clearly coming from this experience of having been vulnerable, or not being able to be saved, or that you allowed yourself to be exploited. And you can actually, if you decide to do so, change this within and as yourself, and give yourself some credit, or I mean, not having to go on these crusades against people and groups and points projected outside yourself in order to attempt to solve an inner conflict where you're busy reliving memories over and over and over again, blaming someone else outside separate of you instead of standing self-responsible.